Hardcore muscle fans have been dying to see the Mr. Olympia Championships from Atlanta. Well, if you were not able to see it live, sit back for a shocker as Andy Stevens reports on bodybuilding's biggest battle.
Every year, the pro contests build up to a climactic event called the Mr. Olympia. It's an event for the best of the best to vie for the ultimate bodybuilding title in the world. Now that the 8-year reign of Lee Haney is but a chapter in bodybuilding history, the path is clear for the next generation of bodybuilders to redefine the limits of the sport. The event took place in Lee Haney's hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, and drew over 5,000 muscle fans who paid up to $250 a seat to witness the contest. The lineup was packed with more big men than ever before, with more than 10 men weighing over 240 pounds. With the presence of Olympia veterans Lee Labrada, Sean Ray, Dorian Yates, and many more exciting first-timers like Flex Wheeler and Paul Dillette, pre-judging was an insane struggle for the IFBB judges to place the competitors accurately. In 10th place was Lou Ferrigno, by far the crowd's favorite competitor. Each time he stepped center stage for comparisons, the crowd went wild with appreciation, and his night show posing routine had the Civic Center shaking with applause and cheers of Lou. Ferrigno made good on his promise of going out at his best, weighing a shocking 316 pounds. He will now return to acting in motion pictures.
I toured the world and gave a lot of exhibitions, and every time I gave each exhibition, I would get a 5-minute standing ovation before I posed. It really tells me that the fact that I'm like the last legend making a comeback from the 70s, and to motivate me to compete today.
Andreas Munzer pulled off his second top 10 Mr. Olympia placing in his 3-year pro career. Though he was still sliced and diced, many agreed that had he duplicated his condition from the night of the champions, a top 5 placing would have been guaranteed. Sonny Schmidt finally beat his personal demon that had kept him off top condition on several occasions, yet dropped another place from last year's Olympia. This is proof of how tough this competition gets each successive year. Great Britain's Charles Claremont rolled into 7th, packing 235 pounds on his 6-foot frame. The 4-time NABBA Pro Universe champion had many in the audience wondering where this awesome physique had been hiding all these years. He then went on to win 4 European Grand Prix events. Big Paul Dillette was almost 270 pounds, his biggest ever, and almost 20 pounds over his North American weight. Jurassic Paul was a big hit with the fans, but he just doesn't seem to have the deep separation and muscle hardness needed to impress the polished international judges.
I really haven't set any really standard as far as size go, because you have guys like Lou Ferrigno and Dorian Yates also who are big men in their rights. I think the difference in myself and Lou Ferrigno and Dorian Yates would be I am still such a large man, but at the same time, I still have the waistline of a middleweight and the small bone structure, so it makes it look more unique.
A little bit of subcutaneous water was all it took to knock Kevin Levrone down 3 places from last year into 5th. Even a winter pec tear had no effect on his huge upper body as previously feared. He just didn't hit his peak perfectly.
Comes to this show, I'm more relaxed than I've ever probably been in, you know, for any other contest. So there's really no pressure right there. You know, I play second, and the only thing that I want to do is go in this contest better than I was last year, and everything's looking good. So.
For the 7th year in a row, Lee Labrada made the top 4 in the Mr. Olympia. Although his professionalism is unquestioned and he has added some mass, the pro ranks are becoming proliferated with a new breed of men with equally great symmetry but with enormous size. At 5'4", it's tough for Lee to match. Shawn Ray hit his peak and had almost everybody thinking he was a surefire second place, but was held in third by the more critical judges. Flex Wheeler made his Olympia debut and beat all but one man. He appeared slightly off his Arnold Classic condition, but still had enough going for him in the areas of size and shape to overwhelm most of the Olympia veterans. Most agree that he will win the Olympia within the next several years, frustrating veterans that find the ultimate professional crown perpetually elusive.
I always thought that I possibly could do well if I ever just got a handle on what it takes for me to get in condition and so on, but it's gave me a tremendous, I guess, light at the end of the tunnel because I've done so well already, and, I guess that's where the expectations come from as far as expect me to continue doing that well, but, I'm in this for a business, and as far as I can say business, it's just going well right now, so.
On this particular day, nobody came close to the total package displayed by Britain's Dorian Yates. He weighed in at 257 pounds, a full 15 pounds heavier than his first win last year in Helsinki. It should be noted that he was still the hardest man in the show, despite his enormous size.
I made tremendous improvements this year. I'm probably 15 or 16 pounds heavier than last year, and also more dense and harder and everything like that, so it's going to be a big problem for the guys.
This is the biggest bodybuilding contest in the world, and each year the physiques stray further and further from accepted beliefs about how much better the human body could possibly become.
Remember, ESPN will have 1-hour special event coverage of the Mr. Olympia in January. And the Bodybuilders Hotline will announce the air date as soon as it is scheduled.